A very good morning. Welcome to today's edition of the program. Success Precepts Uncle K is in the studios. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Sammy.
And this morning we're taking a look at something you've heard time and again, like over and over. Vision, simply vision. But I bet your trust God so well that more light will be coming your way on the subject vision today. As you stay with us, as you're part of it, you may need a writing material, pen and book or something. Please get that set. Okay, vision.
Thank you, Sammy. I know we've done this in several ways, several times, but sometimes we find ourselves in a position where it's good to revisit certain things so that we can strengthen ourselves to be able to move forward. Vision is something we've always talked about. I think it has one of the foundational topics of this program because it's very important to everything we do. But let's go back to the basics, try and build up from there, and try and emphasize some things that I know will help us in the lives that we live in the situation we find ourselves today. So what is vision? Let's start with dictionary definitions, which I don't usually do, but this time it will help. Okay. New Webster's Dictionary of English Language defines vision as 1. The act of seeing or the ability to see. The act of seeing or the ability to see. 2. A picture formed in the mind. 3. Imaginative foresight. I'm going through dictionary definition because if you look closely, it's going to capture everything that we want to talk about vision. Starting with the act of seeing or ability to see. A picture formed in the mind. And then imaginative capture. Foresight.
Foresight, okay.
Yes. Imaginative foresight. I like that particular one. The same dictionary defines a visionary as one who imagines how things should be and pays little regard to how they actually are or likely to be. See, this is why I like the imaginative foresight definition.
Okay. Yeah.
Now we're talking about being a visionary, and I know in our times many people have called themselves visionaries, and many people have been called visionaries. And I'm trying to tell you now what a visionary is. Someone who sees things, imagines things. That's an imaginative foresight. You are seeing things as they should be, regardless of how they currently are. Okay. This is important because if you look at where you are now, you understand the importance of having imaginative foresight. Because it's not how it is now or how it will likely become. What is important is how it should be. If you can get that picture, then you can proceed. Let me add something here, maybe ahead of time. God talks in pictures. This is very important. We're talking about vision. God talks in pictures. It's as simple as that. I'll give you an example. He says to Abraham, first of all, what do you see? He says to Ezekiel, what do you see? He says to Moses, what's that in your hand? He talks in pictures. I like this Abraham conversation because it underscores what we're talking about today. Abraham, as far as your eyes can see, I will give it to you. Imaginative foresight. Remember what we said now. A picture formed in the mind. It's not necessarily your physical eyesight.
Yes.
Abraham certainly got more than his physical eyesight. God was saying, as far as you can believe, as far as you can imagine, let me use that, let me not say believe. Believe will start turning towards this this religion thing now. Everybody believes something. As far as you can imagine, I will give it to you. Imaginative foresight, your ability to see things as they should be. The question is, the things about you, the things around you, how should they be? Not how are they? Or how they will most likely be. The question is, have you caught a vision of how they should be? Because that's the cut. Have you ever tried to walk around with your eyes closed in an unfamiliar environment? This is an idea. If you close it, not where you know, if you know where you know, you can actually get
somehow you can find your way around.
If you go to an environment that you have no idea, you've never been before, close your eyes, you're not going to get very far.
Certainly.
Period. And in life, our ability to advance is directly related, is directly proportional to our ability to see. our ability to advance in life is directly proportional to our ability to see. In the physical senses, I just gave you an example. I said if you go to an unfamiliar environment, you close your eyes, you're not going to go very far because you have no idea where you're going, you have no idea what's around you, so you just basically stutter. But if, like when we're talking about Abraham and Moses and God talking in pictures, if you are able to capture the appropriate thought, the appropriate vision, then you can proceed in the direction of that vision. And that's why it's very important. Because if you don't have the appropriate vision, or you don't have any vision at all, you're not going to go very far. As a matter of fact, you're not going anywhere. And that's why a lot of people in this generation have made very little progress and cannot even make any progress because they have very little they are seeing. Your ability to see God or believe God, let's put it this way, your ability to believe God is directly proportional to your ability to see God, in quote. I'll elaborate on that.
Okay.
Because I know that's my question.
It's sinking. It's
yeah.
sinking, yes.
Your ability to believe God, I repeat that, it's just very difficult. Your ability to believe God is directly proportional. It's related to your ability to see. When I say see, your ability to capture a vision of what he's saying.
Because you can't
believe what you have no idea about.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's why when religious people try to teach faith, I get bothered. Because you can't teach faith. And not in the sense that they're teaching it. They're going to read some scripture to you and say, you must have faith, you must have faith, you must have faith.
It's not enough.
It doesn't work. How do you must have? What you don't know. What you have no idea about. You understand me?
Yes.
It's something, let me go further a bit. Maybe this will help clarify. When I speak of vision, I'm not just referring to your physical side, because I keep saying vision. It's not just your physical side. I just use the physical senses to draw a parallel, make you understand that, okay, this is how it works. But it's not just your physical senses. It's not your eyes. I'm not talking necessarily about using your eyes, because your eyes can lead you so far anyway. Good. But more importantly, an illumination of the mind. And that's what I called, from the dictionary, imaginative foresight. Illumination of the mind. Last week, we talked about your mind and God. And I said, if God is in your mind, he brings light to your mind. That's the illumination of the mind. Your ability to see. That's what we're talking about, knowing him, seeing him, hearing from him, and all those other things you talk about. Because there is something inside that you're able to capture, a picture you're able to capture. Based on, remember what I said last week? I said it's not the word of God that changes things around you, it's the word from God.
From God,
yes.
For you.
It's your ability to tap into, I don't want to use this word they use every day. They say tap into people again. No, I'm trying not to sound religious. Your ability to picture what God has said about you or about the circumstance. If you cannot have that picture, you cannot draw from that system. You can't move further from where you are. Your ability to see with your mind's eye enables you to put things in proper perspective and see the big picture. Your ability to see with your mind's eye, this is what I'm talking about now, an illumination of the mind. If you're able to see with your mind, it puts things in proper perspective. You start to see the bigger picture of life, the bigger picture of things, and then this gives you hope. Because the big picture is beyond, see, he says to Abraham, what do you see? And as far as you're able to see, I will give to you. He said, I'll make your descendants like the sand by the seashore and all that and all that.
He tried to help him.
He kept building a picture of you. Exactly.
God did not just say, as far as your eyes can see, and then leave him there. Actually, Abraham, like me and you, would have been a little confused. Yeah. Maybe we understand better now because we have an Abraham instance. In his case, Abraham did not have an instance.
Yeah, that's why God kept elaborating.
And he elaborated.
Look at the sun.
Yes.
Look at the stars.
Yes.
Just have that kind of, if you have that imaginative thought, I'm going to create through you such
descendants.
Now, when I talk about big picture, remember I didn't tell him about he's going to have to fight to free Lot.
Yes.
I didn't tell him about people raiding his place. He didn't tell me.
Details.
No, that's the small picture.
Yes.
God talks in big pictures. The big picture gives you hope.
You say God talks in big pictures. Not necessarily the small ones.
No.
He'll spare you the details, the small ones.
The details are unimportant where God is concerned, because the details are things that happen in time. God is not in time.
And
He's not talking about the activities that you're going to go through every day. Like, for example, you're going to eat rice this morning. No. That's taken for granted. He's talking about where you're going to go. Let me emphasize again that God works only with the big picture. Therefore, your ability to understand Him is hinged on your ability to see the big picture. So when He says, I'm going to do a thing for you, He's talking about the big picture. That's why I said your ability to believe God. Remember what I said. When you see the big picture, it gives you hope. Hope is the driving force of life. Hope is the driving force of life. A man or a woman who has given up hope cannot be helped.
Actually.
Once you give up, once you say, I don't want tomorrow to come,
that's practically nothing.
It's over. It ended today you. Yes. It's the big picture that brings hope. Hope moves you forward. And that's why I'm saying the same thing. It's your ability to see the big picture. See God. That's the big picture. That gives you faith. Faith moves you forward. I just said it in a different language, but the same thing. You see the big picture, you have a hope that tomorrow will be better. The hope that tomorrow will be better will see you through today. Most of us live today because we believe tomorrow will be better. And that's why when the devil comes at you, he comes at you tomorrow. It doesn't come at you today.
Yes.
Because if he can rob you of tomorrow.
Oftentimes we don't understand.
No, you don't. No.
Target is tomorrow.
No, he doesn't bother with today.
Because he's coming today, and then you don't know his target.
So because he's coming today, you think it's today he's after. No, he's after tomorrow. Because if he can rob you of tomorrow, then you have ended where you are.
Yes.
You can't go beyond that point. So his interest always is taking tomorrow. And that's why you must always guard your tomorrow. But I'm saying that you can't be talking about tomorrow if you don't have hope. And hope is created from the picture you see for tomorrow. And the picture you see basically is driven from the God who's created you. Because He gives you the hope to move on. That's why we talk about faith. You can't have faith in God if you have not gotten the picture of God. Yeah. Yes. It's really not this. It's not rocket science. Working that way. That's why a lot of people are walking around talking about how much faith they have in something they don't know. Yeah. They can't picture. They don't have faith. No, it's just some kind of zeal burning in their heart that okay, something will happen. Just push harder. What will happen, I don't know, but something will happen. No. God is crystal clear.
Okay. What will happen, I don't know.
No, that's how people think.
Yeah.
Let's just keep at it.
They don't have the big picture.
They don't have the big picture.
What we said earlier, we said, okay, he's not necessarily going to tell you so much about the small pictures, but then he gives you a big picture.
Yep.
So sometimes we go and we need to have the small picture, which of course is not really God's thing for us, okay, for the now, and then we don't have the big picture either.
Wait, if you work with a small picture, you can't move forward. It's the big picture. Remember what we said when we had all these other teachers, even when we talk about financial planning, I said you start from the end.
From the end. Yes, I agree.
To define the beginning. You don't start from the beginning to define the end.
Guys, but sometimes practically speaking, Uncle K is a bit difficult.
That's why you must remember this. That's why we keep doing. That's why we'll come back to this word again, and we'll come back to it again, and you need to come back to it again. And when we start success precepts, you take something you write down, so you go back to it again. It's not supposed to be easy. It can't be easy because life comes at you.
Yes.
But you see my point. Even as I speak, there are times in life when I don't remember these things I speak about.
Yes.
But the Spirit of God in me brings it to light at the appropriate time and says, "This is you are using the wrong approach. This won't work." But if you don't have any picture, if you have nothing, then there's nothing. You won't even know what to do. That's the essence of teaching. That's the essence of learning. That's the essence of the things that we do, which people actually take for granted. If you say, for example, Sammy, I always say this. If you say, let's have a seminar, let's build people, let's have a conference, people will stay in their houses because they'll think, what are we going to gain from this? But if you say, let's come in to try to do business networking that will change your 2,000 to 5,000, people will come.
Because I only get 2,005 by this evening.
Exactly. So you see, it's what's propelling the picture you have in your head. That's a small picture. Getting 2,000, making 5,000 from 2,000, making 10,000 from 1,000. That's a small picture. Because that's not. See, you could very well get to a point in your life where you lose 10 million. That's not what God is talking about. I said Abraham had to go and fight for things that were taken from him. Things were taken from him.
Yes.
But it did not in any way affect the vision of God in his life. And that's why even when he fought and came back And the king says to him, oh, look, Abraham, look, I thank you. I thank you. Look, you know what? Just take anything you want. I'm so grateful for what you've done. And Abraham said, hey, no. I just take what's mine. And I return the rest to you. Why? For it will not be said that any man made Abraham rich. Why was he talking like that? Because he had a picture in his head from God that said, I, your God, will make you the father of nations. So he knew that. So he said, this is a shortcut. So I don't want this shortcut. I don't want it to be written in history.
Yeah, but actually, that's a shortcut. And
that was a shortcut now.
In today's world, Abraham, that is what we're talking about.
Yeah. The shortcuts that lead to nowhere.
Your pastor says something in church yesterday, prophesies, blah, 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 and everything that happens today, every shortcut today looks like a fulfillment of that promise.
Sorry, you want to get me started with this pastor thing, right? No, but you're right. You're right. People are just after short. See, if you don't have the big picture, any little thing will distract you. One of my favorite teachers, Mike Murdoch, says the only reason why men fail is broken focus. The only reason why men fail is broken focus. Not the devil, not your mother, not your father. Broken focus. It means that if you can stick to one thing that you intend to achieve. Abraham was really simple. God had said, I will do this. Now he had a vision of God. He had a vision. God had made that clear with him. And this one that was happening now was not part of that vision. He said, let no man. I never forget that.
Yes.
Because it's very simple for you to try that shortcut, and maybe it will work. You go home with some nice, lots of stuff, and you go home and have a big party. But you would have short-circuited the process. You see, if God still wanted to work with you, He will wait for you until you have exhausted yourself without your shortcut.
Yes.
So that's the truth.
Then He starts afresh.
With you. Because that thing you did is not part of what He wanted. And that's why people come to start giving all kinds of funny testimony and how God has blessed them when God did not send them on any errand. God will be watching them and say, look, God loves us. I always talk about this thing. He said, God gave you a car. And God is saying, who sent this man on errand? He went and stole money and he said, God, I gave you. You are just lucky that that car doesn't kill you. God will forgive you, but God will not bless you, even if you think, no matter how sincere your mistake is, because you will teach other people. That's why people are getting on pulpit and giving all kinds of testimonies that are not correct. They are not correct. They're not true. Because you know what you did to get that. You took a shortcut. See, God will leave you when you have exhausted yourself. When that car has knocked engine and you are back to trekking, then He will start again with you. So this is what we wanted to do. Yeah, this is how I wanted to do it. It's not that one. It's not that one you did. That one you did. You sent yourself. But now let's come back to drawing board. So Abraham could very have taken from the king, oh, thank you, and gonna have a big party, and
Yeah, and give the testimony that yes.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, but from that day, things will start going downhill. From that day, things will start going downhill. And until he gets to the original position where he was, God will just leave you there. When you have exhausted, when He has eaten all the cows and the goats and everything he got from the king, when He has spent all the money he got from the king, when He has done everything He has done, the one that the king gave him, then God will start again with him from the one that he had, because God intended to use him and the one he had. God doesn't need your help. He doesn't need anybody's help. He just needs you to tap into the picture He has created. And unless you have tapped into that, look, if your eyes are closed, you can't move.
You can't.
And people are not moving because their eyes are closed. And I don't mean physical eyes. I just mean that they are focused on something else. And because you're focused on something else, look, what you focus on, for example, when we study this and let's talk about the situation we find ourselves today. It's not very comforting. People are unemployed, people are hungry, people are starving, there's poverty everywhere. That's the picture. But that's not God's picture. And that picture will drive a lot of people to make mistakes. That's what's simply happening, because the picture you have taken is not remember what I said, visionary. The one that sees things as they should be.
They should. Huh?
Not necessarily how they are.
Yes.
So everything's upside down, and there's starvation in land, and there's hunger in land, and there's all that. That's a picture that something is dead, whatever is painting for you. That has nothing to do with God. But because you've taken that picture, it's hard to take God's own too. Broken focus. Your focus is now on the wrong thing, so you're going to take every available shortcut. That picture will drive you to places that you shouldn't have gone in the first place. It has nothing to do with God, and that's why a lot of people are suffering. In relationships, in business, in whatever you call it, in academics, every single thing. Because you have a picture before you. And trust me, the enemy works very hard to paint that kind of picture for you. Every day you wake up, he works hard. Remember, he's trying to abort your future. I keep saying that. It's your future is after. You know why? If he paints a very dreary, awful picture for you, you take in fear. Then you start to act in fear. And then start to make mistakes that will be consequential upon your future. You self-abort your future. It's as simple as that. But if you take the right picture, question is, what's the right picture?
Actually.
Yeah, we go back to drawing, but again, it has to do with your relationship with God. What's the vision? What do you have? What do you want? What do you see? You know what my pastor used to say, and I never forget? He said, dream. Dreaming is free. Dream of everything. My mother wrote a book. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Dream Seeds. That's the name of the book. Dream Seeds. What would you do if you know you couldn't fail? Think about it when you meditate, and you will see that the correct picture of your life will start coming back to you.
Whoa. Deep as it is, I hope you wrote down some things. I wouldn't know. I hope you even did some recording. That will help you a great deal. Please, let's work with these things. Like we said in the course of it, it's a bit difficult when you're faced with the practical challenges and troubles of life, the everyday life. You're likely to forget some of these lines. You're likely to forget that the enemy is after your tomorrow. You just see the today, and how to get through today. But I tell you, tomorrow is bigger. That's a big picture. So as we walk, I wouldn't know, you may have the smaller pictures. Then remember, what gives us the hope is the bigger picture. What will constrain you from retaliating the way you want to retaliate is the big picture. And if you do not have a big picture yet, then there's a big problem somewhere. And somewhere around the last part of it, I was going to ask the question when Uncle K already cleared the lights there. Said, go back to the drawing board. Because the question in my mind was, okay, how do you get the big picture? Go back to the drawing board. Go back to your place, your relationship, with the Lord. Fix that. Get close to Him. He'd make available for every man, every woman who's ready to work with Him. He searches our heart, and He knows every heart that's willing. We are all result-oriented, but then there is a process to the result. God carries us through a process. We usually do not enjoy the process. Please, today, I say to myself, and I say it out, so you can also hear that we must learn to follow His process, very importantly. So we don't have to go all the way far, and when we get to the end of it ourselves, we get back again to start all afresh with God. Somehow we do not have, of course, certainly we do not have all the time in the world. It was also said that on Success Precepts, we can be everything or anything if we had all the time in the world, but we do not. Let's make the most of the moment as we walk with the Lord. Thank you so much for your time.